Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Certified Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Ginn. Once again, we're back. This time, episode number 2, episode number 11. You guys leave me a comment. I'm still not sure how to count down for season number 2, but leave me a comment and we'll figure that out. But my guest today, you should know well. He was on the very first episode of the Certified Podcast, Sheik Kargbo. You can know him here. You can know him over in Sierra Leone. He's global at this point, and we're happy to have him back. Sheik, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, man? Certified Podcast. You know, I'm not a stranger here, so just
you're an
picked
OG
up where
now.
we left off.
You're the first person to do 2 episodes. You're an OG. We tried to get you on
Come
for a
on,
week
man.
1, but there was a little miscommunication.
Friend of the show, man. I'm a friend of the show.
Hey, man, we appreciate you. You're
Yes,
one of the
sir.
guys, always give time, so always appreciate you.
Yeah.
People that know, watch the first episode. Me and Sheik go way back.
Oh man, way back.
Back when he was just a arrogant little 18-year-old kid.
Hey, yo, never arrogant.
Shit.
I was just very determined. Let's just say it.
Determined my ass. You were arrogant as fuck.
Speaking of me, you. Mike was a rebel. He's still are.
Fair enough. This isn't supposed to be about me. It's supposed to be about you. That's how these shows
let's
work.
not go digging into your history here. We all both got skeletons and shit.
Yeah. But speaking of coming back, Certified Podcast is back, and so are you. You've been working on some new music. Last time we talked, you were doing the whole speakeasy experiment that almost 3 years ago now.
For real, right? Damn, it's been a minute.
Yeah, last time we recorded it came out in January 2018, but we recorded it like in December. So
yeah. I was in like San Jose, San Francisco area.
Yeah, you were out in the Bay. Now you're down in ATL. Saw you setting up a little bit of a new studio in your new place. So I'm sure you're cranking out some music soon.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got some music out. I got like my international stuff, my African Afro hip hop stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about I keep hearing Homecoming's coming. When
is
it's coming,
man? December.
December? Because I remember Speakeasy took a little while to come out too.
Yeah, Speakeasy was also like 20 tracks. All of them were above 3 minutes, 30 seconds. That's like an hour and 45 minutes of audio right there. You gotta wait.
I hear you. But, you got some new tracks that are kind of hot for both international and English speaking people. You put out this one song earlier this year, and it was definitely meant for Sierra Leone.
Definitely.
For those that don't know, that's where Sheik's roots are, Sierra Leone.
West Side. Sierra Leone, West Africa, man.
You're on the west side of everything. West side of Sierra Leone, west side of Alexandria.
You know what I mean?
Alexandria, Virginia, for people that are wondering. But
yes, sir.
You were putting out these tracks and you put out something, and of course I'm the support. You and I have always supported each other, always boost each other up. But you made the comment. You said, "This isn't for you. It's not even in English." And I told you it doesn't matter.
Oh, well.
And I think it took you a second to get that.
Well, no. I'm not saying like, because normally what I used to do, like in terms of like the American rap, I used to rap. It's like, it's heavily focused on listening because I didn't do like necessarily turn up music. So I did like lyrical shit. So lyrical shit, you most likely have to hear, you know what I mean? The words, the punchlines, yada, yada, yada. So in this sense, when you said that, I was like, oh, by the way, it's in a different language. I didn't mean that you won't feel the instrumental or get the groove.
Not even instrumental. I mean, it was both. Like, first of all, most different cultures, my wife's Hispanic, Peruvian.
Okay.
A lot of Hispanic music, they mix English with the Spanish. A lot of your music is English with the African dialects and stuff. And I don't want to call it broken anything because that's just kind of how people naturally talk nowadays with different languages mixed in. It's just almost natural nowadays. But when you're doing a song like that, and I can't remember which one it was, I know you released a couple that aren't even on like your tracks, like Poro and some other stuff. But there's deaf people that vibe out to certain music, right? Based on vibrations and based on feelings. And that's what I was kind of getting at. It was like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, like it doesn't really matter. The words are important, especially when you're sending a message. But sometimes there's also a feeling, and you're just as much of a producer as you are a rapper, even maybe more of a producer. So when you come out with anything, the first thing I listen for, at least as somebody who's followed you since you were that arrogant 18-year-old kid, is the music. And so that's what I was kind of getting at.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, it's all about feeling at the end of the day. I mean, nothing starts with anything else but feeling. Like literally, it was funny. I actually forgot I was doing this today, so I was actually in here getting ready to record. I got the notification. I'm like, oh fuck.
And here you were like a couple days ago, like wondering about it, and then now all of a sudden you're forgetting about it. All right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I don't know if this is a family show, but you know, this happens.
Is it ever?
Yeah.
There's an explicit tag.
Yeah.
I don't play with that. Like, is it kid friendly or not? I'm just going to go ahead and say no because I don't want to be censored. I'm not going to go out of my way to be obscene, but you know, if something slips here and there, I don't really care.
Medicine is never obscene, sir.
It's legal most of the country, most of the state.
Oh, it's legal. Yeah, I mean, it's medical.
I'm not sure it's legal in Georgia.
Yeah, but no, not in Georgia. I didn't get it in Georgia. Got it in Oklahoma.
I'm pretty sure it's not legal in Oklahoma, but.
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we come from DC where it is legal, so.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't remember being that way. Yo, this shit is like weird, right? It doesn't make a difference. It was funny. I've been in states where it's legal at, and I still buy it the old school way. I could literally go to a dispensary. I'm just like, yo, fuck that. Hey, where you at?
I'm somebody who doesn't partake. Not that I give a shit, obviously, but when I lived in Colorado, you know, the moment they opened up the medical version before it was legal everywhere, there were lines around the corner. Like they all lined up to do it. Funny enough, in DC, when they started opening up more of those shops, even though it's still not technically legal, it's decriminalized.
Yeah.
They didn't go to those. I mean, some people go to those shops, but most of them are still buying it the old school way, like you're talking. It just depends where you are.
Yeah, it's like those. It ends up becoming like, for me, like I mean, I go to pop-up shops and shit like that because I got friends that run pop-up shops. But if I was to just randomly wake up one day and I want to smoke, I won't be the guy that hangs up at him. I have a guy. You know what I mean? You got a guy for stuff? I got a guy. Like, hey, that's the guy. And he knows what.
Loyalty, right?
That's it. Like, I mean, I'm not touring pop-up shops, bro. That shit gets a little, I mean, you know, I don't necessarily want to go to a weed event. I smoke weed, that's cool, but it's not a lifestyle for me. You understand? Some people, they literally.
I'd argue some of your songs say different, but.
Yeah, no, I smoke it. I smoke it. That's what my songs say.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the video for Zenith was an entire transaction.
Yeah. But it was, I mean, that was just fun. That shit was not you know what I'm saying? I don't have marijuana butter and fucking marijuana hemp shirts and go to the events and no, I got a lot of shit to do. For my mind to relax at night, I need this thing right here.
So you down in Atlanta now? You settling down? Or is this just another stop?
Man. I'm married.
Nah, I heard that. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you know, you gotta settle down sometime.
Was Atlanta a joint decision?
Actually, I was like 2 years ago, I was supposed to move down here. But like for whatever reason, I went to California instead, went out there, and that shit was not my vibe at all.
Well, even when you were out there, you were going back and forth to DC, DMV.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, I can't. This shit seemed a little weird. Like,
it's nice, but it's too laid back.
Well, it's not that it's laid back or whatnot. It's just not real. It doesn't. Look, you have an industry, fine. But the whole fucking towns and neighborhoods doesn't necessarily need to be that. It can just be a regular neighborhood. And then
I think it depends where you are too.
But that's true. That's
like
true.
If you're in Oakland, it's one vibe. If you're in San
Francisco,
Francisco,
that's different. I mean,
if you're in San Francisco, San Jose, it's a whole nother vibe.
That up north, Northern California is a little bit different than the, like when people like us go out there, it's for
Sacramento and Oakland are very much real, but
yeah, but I'm talking about when I go out there for like music industry stuff, like I'm just, when you are around that North Hollywood / fucking, LA.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it's like Oakland and that is different because that's like, those are neighborhoods that like people actually dwell in, like people that have nothing to do with entertainment, like, you know what I'm saying? Like people that live, but out in go to further south, LA, shit, everybody out there is for entertainment. So I feel like the whole ambiance just becomes always about relationships and who's that one? You get what I'm saying.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't think it's 100%. I don't think it's 100%, obviously, but there's definitely like my biggest problem with the West Coast. I mean, I'll go as far as including Denver too, but like going from like Colorado out to the coast is people were just too laid back. I'm all about chill. I'm all about enjoying life, but sometimes when it's time to get up and go, it's time to get up and go. And that's something we kind of develop on the East Coast, especially DC, New York, Philly. Like there's that, it's time to go to work and you put that cap on. And I don't, it's hard. It's not impossible, but it's hard to get people out on the West to do that.
Nah, I hate chilling, man. We got so much good weed out there.
I remember at a traffic stop in San Francisco, I had a guy yell "dude" at me 23 different times, and it meant something different every time he said it because it was like stuck in traffic in the intersection. I was just like, I can't fuck with y'all. Beautiful place. I like visiting. I wouldn't want to live there. I'm an East Coast dude. That's just what it is. Even down here,
I discovered that very quickly.
Yeah, even down here in Florida, there's at least some kind of get up and go. Okay. They're almost even a little too aggressive sometimes down here.
Floridians are crazy, man.
It's true.
I heard.
It's a true
Everybody
story.
says that shit. I'm like, oh, why the fuck?
I mean,
Floridians crazy.
I thought I was moving to peace and quiet, and don't worry, people. Don't worry, people. We'll get to music in just a second because, as much as this is a podcast about interviewing people, it's also a conversation, and everybody who's listening to any of the episodes know we go off the rails.
Yeah, no. It can never be, like, think about this, right? Let's say if you like when you want people to get a scope into an intimate conversation, right?
Yeah.
It can never be organized. Absolutely not.
Nah.
If you organize it, then it's not intimate at all. It's premeditated. That's not you gotta let it rear off and find its way.
Yeah, and I will apologize too. I meant to switch back and forth to, more of a Zoom view instead of going back just looking at me and you. And I got caught up talking to you and forgot. But what I was going to say is that, like, here I was moving down where I thought it was a nice, quiet, safe neighborhood. Just like 2 weeks ago, some kid was shot 7 times in my parking lot. So sometimes don't matter if you're in DC or if you're in Tampa, Florida, shit's going to happen.
Shit's go down and go down, man. Nowadays, people just stand randomly and test their guns.
It's crazy. Like, this is a pretty quiet neighborhood. It was a random thing, but like considering we've been here like 2 months, it's like, oh, welcome home.
Yeah, you gotta get that. Okay, all right.
I'm sitting there reading the news back in. I'm sitting there reading the news back in DC. There was like 5 people shot in the last day or so.
Oh yeah, nah. That mean fucking.
It's all because of COVID though. Like everything that started getting all
people
quiet.
Getting shot, dude.
Yeah, but
you think it's COVID that started?
No, but I mean DC. Very much DC is getting very gentrified, very quiet, very.
Oh yeah.
Like you could walk from one end, like not southeast and like parts of northeast, but most of DC, especially northwest, southwest, you can walk anywhere and not look over your shoulder. But with people being out of work, people starting to get a little bit more desperate, government's not really coming through, and people are getting laid off, whether it's their own choice or not. Yeah, that starts to end. Like this is the most violent year in DC in I think a decade.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So, and there's still 3 months to go, 2 months to go. So, I mean, we always know stuff in DC pops off during the summer, but like it's popping off right now too, because like I said, people are desperate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna get political on this show. I never will. But you know, they got to do something. Get these people's rent paid and get other stuff paid until they could. Like my industry down here in Florida, it's kind of getting back to more wide open. I'm a bartender. You know, it is what it is. Back in DC, the bar I worked at for the last few years ended up going out of business. They still have other restaurants, but the one I was working at no longer, between lease issues and business being slower. You can look at any newspaper and see like 10 different spots getting closed almost every week, like restaurants, bars. So, you know, if, you know, somebody like yourself, like there's not a big market for gigs, you know, doing shows and performances.
There's really no gigs right now. I mean, why do you think I move around so much?
Well, that's why we moved to Tampa. I mean, honestly, it was just an opportunity. Nothing was holding me back.
Yeah. I mean,
had some savings and bounced.
Yeah. I mean, that's that pretty much. I mean, don't get me started on COVID. Fucking economy. I got so many theories. I'm not gonna spew them on this show.
That's why I brought you on. That's what you do. You talk
the theories.
Shit. I mean, the last episode, I think we took at least an hour talking about the music industry.
Oh yeah. Dude, fucking, don't you feel like you don't get this feeling that the shit is, something don't feel right? Like, really?
I mean,
it is not no damn, like,
I'm not gonna say conspiracy theories or not, because whether it's true or false, I mean, it is a pandemic. It's not supposed to feel right. No matter what side of that you're on.
But I don't know. It just seems like to me, right? And this is not it's not even a conspiracy theory. It really isn't, because you can see it and you can see it. It seems like there's a lot of money being spent on pushing the God damn, this is gonna make me sound like a nut.
It was way too late for that. Go ahead.
Bro, because every time
after this, we're gonna get to some of this music, but go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Everywhere I look, bro, it seems like the shit came at, it seemed like at the perfect time. 1, 2, it also seemed as though it's been, of course, every major thing that happens around election time will always be politicized. So I get that. But for me, it just seems like, I don't know, it seems like a distraction to me.
I think everything's a distraction, especially in an election year, whether it's COVID or anything else.
Yeah. But I think
the Supreme Court thing was a distraction. I mean, it was unfortunate. Obviously, nobody planned for her to pass away, but you know, here they all talking about passing a stimulus, and now they're all talking about confirming a judge instead of helping people. You know, everything is a distraction from one to another, depending which way they want the wind to blow. Like I said, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. It doesn't matter if you believe certain theories. I mean, it's all a distraction. That's not even a secret.
So what do we do? Grab the samurai swords and say what? We want transparency.
We tried that from 2008 to 2016, and then they wanted it to go back. I mean, Obama wasn't perfect either, but you know, he did try to get a lot of transparency, a lot of, you know, government oversight, and you know, white people, right? They ran right back.
You can say white people. I say power.
I think you honestly said something. You said something not too long ago. I think it was on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree with you more. And you sat there and said that this wasn't, and systemic racism is real, systemic fear is real, a lot of systemic problems. But you said this was more of a poor people thing, like a class thing.
Of course it is. It's always that. Like, it's never like
I don't think Trump really cares about black people or brown people any differently. I think he doesn't like poor people. I don't think he likes people that are holding him back.
Yeah, I mean, anybody has made their life's mission to chase wealth. poor people is not part of their plans. It
yeah,
really isn't.
and unfortunately, it does go hand in hand because a lot of the, Black communities, Hispanic communities, a lot of them unfortunately do live in very poor environments in this country because of the way the government has, done stuff over the decades. But, so it kind of goes hand in hand. But I don't know. I'll go a step further and think it all bases out of systemic fear. Every law is written because somebody's afraid of something else.
I think it was Bill Burr, right? Bill Burr said, the nerds are running the world. You know what I'm saying? They're nerds. Like, you remember the kid that can't kick the softball?
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. That's the kid that's president. Well, all the stronger guys that don't use this, we are the fucking
except for the last 4 years. I think we got stuck with the jock.
Oh yeah, I guess. But is he a wartime president? I don't know. I think a lot of this. Trump can't handle the mattresses, man. He cannot. War. Look, he is good at marketing. He is good at polarizing. But war is a different monster. If it was at war, I would. No under any circumstance would I ever vote for Hillary Clinton. Okay, I'm gonna put this out here. No one. This is a woman responsible for assassination of African leaders. We're not even going to touch that. However, she will be a beast as a wartime president. Hillary is a gangster.
She wouldn't give a shit.
No, Hillary is a fucking nightmare. You put her, she would have been in there and we was going to war with somebody. Oh, that should have been done in like 2 days.
Now, I'm independent. I call bullshit on both sides of the aisle. In fact, I was thinking about launching a podcast called Fact Check going into the election. I was just terrified I'd have to keep doing it after the election. I was like, I don't know if I don't have enough time for another show.
Yeah, that shit's going to take a lot of energy.
Well, it's not just that. I'm already doing 3 shows a week. That's enough.
Yeah, and you're going to have to do research.
I mean, you know, with your music, you're editing and like this video right here, this hour or however long we talk episode, that's the easy part, right? That's just us being natural. Whether you're performing your music and you're doing what you love, that stuff comes natural.
Yeah.
The time that you spend after this is done, that time editing and promoting and just investing into your product, whether it's a podcast or an album or a movie or whatever, that is the exhausting part. Like you see all these actors and stuff suffering from exhaustion because they've been traveling, or musicians who've been on tour and exhaustion. Making the music wasn't hard for them. Making the music was a project of passion, right? The other stuff that goes into it, that's the work. And that's when like, I spent 3 hours recording and I spent about 30 hours promoting and doing everything else. So, and then like you got a wife now, you got to spend time with your family too.
Dude, like that's the one thing about like getting married, and I'm like, I've never had to deal with before because as a single man, dude, I'm recording music. That's what I'm doing. Nobody bothers me.
Balance.
Right, but now you can't do that no more. You got to make sure she has her time. You get your time. You know what I mean? And with the good thing is she worked from home, so I'm like in one room, she's in the next. When she,
I'm lucky. My wife is off working in our office, so I get a little quiet time to do all this stuff. But speaking of all this stuff, let's talk a little bit about your music before I have every single person send me a hate mail over politics.
Oh, hey man! I mean, everything is politics now, but
it is everything's political in one way or another. And mine, unfortunately, and you can leave a comment, but my unfortunate problem is that I respond to everything, which is good or bad, right? It can be both.
It can hurt you, it can help you. Right?
It's good to engage people. It's good to engage people that are paying attention to what you're doing. But paying attention to what you're doing. So 2-3 years ago, Speakeasy came out. You spent quite a bit of time working on that project. Put out quite a bit of like singles for that too. It wasn't just 1 or 2 songs. Like you put out quite a bit for that before it even dropped. You're kind of doing the same thing with Homecoming. You've already released 3 singles already for it?
Yeah, like well, like nowadays, man, there's no proper way to put out a record. To be honest, you just put it out, especially during these times. So this is regardless of me being African or not, this is still a new business market for me and for Africa itself. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm putting out records, different kinds of records to test the waters, to see what works where. You know what I mean? Filling out the market a bit. That's why I kind of actually held off on videos. That's why I held off on videos for a minute, just to see how the market moves around and now what works where. So after, it's like gathering research, basically, just like what I did on the first one. I put to see what they react to more, and then you switch the marketing around to focus more on that area.
With COVID and everything, is it even harder for you to do videos and make videos now, or you just have to be more creative?
My videos have always been like 1-2 locations. I just make the most out of those locations.
Just being more
I never needed I don't put a lot of people in my videos because I just, that's not the wave I'm going with. But no, not really. I mean the video people. Now that I moved, it's kind of hard to get people here.
Do you have a base in Atlanta, or you have to develop a whole new one?
I have to pretty much develop a whole new networking system. I mean, I know a few cats out here, but in terms of me, I always like mine, man. I always like to create my own, just relationships and networking, and just so things go smoother when you go through this one and that one and that one. It's always costs you time or money. So,
yeah, but, I saw another artist move down there. I followed Flawless Real Talk for a long time, and he moved to Atlanta too, and he seems to be thriving even more down there.
Yeah, no, out here is a business. Well,
it's
here
always a hotbed for music.
Yeah, it's a hotbed for music because economically Atlanta is a very prominent city for business. The airport is busiest, one of the busiest in the world, the Atlanta airport. So
but it's also a prominent. It's also a prominent city for Black music. I mean, whether it's hip hop or R&B,
Black people generally. I mean,
hip hop, R&B, no matter what, like they support it. And obviously, I don't know the actual ratios, but it's a heavily predominant African American city too.
Oh yeah. Atlanta's Black. that's for damn sure. So, and it's good. And the good thing is, people are really thriving here business wise. Just not in music, but business. Like, it's really thriving. It's very diverse. And I'm like, yo, this shit remind me of DMV in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very diverse. Fucking traffic, a lot of people. I mean, like I just the other day around my way here, I went to eat, and I don't know, the shit gave me Fairfax, Virginia vibes. You know what I mean? Because the area where I'm at,
are you in the city or are you on the outskirts?
What am I? I am.
You ain't gotta say
this
exactly.
This is Sandy Springs.
Huh? So you're a little bit outside.
Yeah, I'm a little bit outside. I'm in Sandy Springs, so it's about 20 minutes from downtown. So I'm like probably in the, let's say if Atlanta was DC, I would probably be in
like Rockville, Fairfax, Alexandria.
Yeah, that area basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I'm down in Tampa, but I'm in a place called Brandon, 20 minutes from downtown. Same thing.
Yeah, no, I'm not living in Atlanta, bro. That shit, I can't do that.
I like being slightly outside the major cities. I did the same thing. I mean, I did live in DC for a while, but I like being outside a little bit because you can kind of come and go and then go home to quiet.
Exactly. Here in the suburbs, I'm surrounded by the woods, like literally woods. So, and then when I get, I make noise, I'm a musician, and so I can't, I can't be having neighbors like that. I gotta come somewhere far to make as much noise as I can. Then I go to this. And I don't like being around a lot of noise, anyways. Like generally, like to live, I can't do that, bro. Like I can't really do neighbors very well. I'm a nice neighbor, but don't be fucking making noise.
Yeah, I like quiet. I like choosing when to go make noise, right? Like I like choosing to go to a city, go into a party, go into a concert, go into a restaurant, a bar, and then when you come home, that's where you need to like calm down, do what you do.
Yeah.
So now that you're in Atlanta, getting your studio set up and everything. I saw that. I saw on Instagram or something. You posted a video of like trying to get everything together. You got a lot of work to go on that one.
But I mean, for me,
you got an empty room
funny.
behind you, man.
Any more? You said what?
So you got an empty room behind you.
Yeah, it's huge. Everything is big down here, man. But I'm probably put a desk over there, another couch. I mean, as far as what I need to make music, this is it. Like, I got my guitar, I got my drum machine, I got my fucking.
Do you put up any of those soundproof tiles?
Nah, I don't do those. I mean,
do they even work? I've heard mixed reviews. Do they even work?
It depends on who the engineer is.
No, I meant like the foam, like the soundproof that you put on the walls and stuff. Do they even absorb enough sound to like make it quieter?
Yeah, definitely does. But that's tricky because you don't want it too muffled. Like you kind of want it a little bit spacey, a little bit like. So I mean, it just depends. Me, I don't use it because I just know how to cut out those frequencies anyway in the mix. So
I mean, that's what I do. I'm sure people like you can hear it. I don't know if people at home will hear it later, but they decided to like do the landscaping while I'm recording for the second week in a row. Normally they don't do it till Thursdays. Today and last week they decided they want to do it on Wednesday now. So like you can kind of hear like the buzzing in the background from the weed whackers and stuff like that. But that's what we pay for. Live in a nice community. So
yeah, man, that comes with noise too.
100%. or shootings and like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it real nice in here, man. I'm gonna make it real dope in here.
So tell me about Homecoming. What's the plan with that? Is it going to be 50-50? Is it going to be 100% Sierra Leone music?
No, it's 100% African music. Because I have an American album in the cut, which is what I was supposed to be putting out. I kind of pushed that a little bit.
So what's Poro going to come on? Because I heard that track, and that's mostly.
Oh, that's straight up.
That's mostly.
English. Yeah. That's it's gonna be on the Homecoming album. The what do you call it? The other album is actually been done like 2 years now. I'm just not, Yeah, that shit is hard. That album right there, that one is hard. It's called. I was gonna call it El Mágico, but I don't know if I want to still go with that. But that shit is hard. El Mágico.
So what's the plan? Put out Homecoming and then work on that one again?
Yeah, I'm gonna put out Homecoming and then I'm gonna go back in that one, touch up some shit, modernize it or whatnot, and then put that shit out.
How many tracks do you have for Homecoming waiting?
Probably like 19.
Oh, okay.
Well, I recorded over like 40, but I picked the best.
How many of them are going to cause more beef in Africa?
Oh, nah, shit. I don't know.
I heard you say. I heard you sit there and say that you were trying to bring people together and you don't care about the hip hop beef and you don't care about all the other stuff. It's just noise to you. But then I sit there in the same token. Every time I look you up or look anything up, I got 3 or 4 other African rappers coming at you. There was one over on the east coast, like I think he was Somalian or Tunisia or something. And there was
that wasn't me. You ain't coming from me.
There's just like there's a couple coming for you because now they feel threatened.
I mean, that's part of the fucking.
I mean, yeah, Sierra Leone is your roots, but they're kind of looking at it as this American coming over.
Nah, hell no. Half of those guys are that. I mean, like a lot of musicians that come from Africa, whether it be Nigeria, Ghana, will live out of the countries that they're repping. That's how you know about them because they're in other countries that have access to things.
Back. Yeah.
So they use that repping for their country. But if they're back home, you won't never know. As you don't know the ones that are back there now because they don't have the access. Well, Nigeria is a little better because they have a kind of a good economy and all of this other shit, and Ghana as well. But in terms of Sierra Leone and certain other countries, you're gonna have to be outside of that country and then use whatever means you need to promote your music. But nobody coming for me. They scared. Look, right? I'm like, look. In hip hop, it's easy. Me, I'm from battle rap. That's how I learned how to rap.
I'm gonna say beef drives record sales.
That's let the corporate people handle that. I'm talking
You
about
don't have
artist to
corporate
artist.
people. You're an independent artist.
That's true. But I'm
And
talking about
it's actually one of the reasons why you thrive, because in a time like this where corporations are
you can
shutting
just do
people
whatever the hell
down,
you want.
you do what you
You
want.
do what you
Yeah.
want. Yeah,
You
that's the whole point. I've
you see
been
the shirt I'm
saying.
wearing right now is the Vibe Higher Snow the product. Like, people like you guys, you can go out and do what you want. You don't have to be held back by any kind of label or any kind of restrictions. You can put your music on Spotify or iTunes anytime you want.
You do what the fuck you want. Last time I released a song, I was in a plane, I was on my phone, and that's when I put the song up.
There you go.
And it's like, that's it. Like, what? Like, I'm not the kind of person that likes to ask for permission, anyways. Like, because I'm a man. Like, I don't think the only people you should ask for permission from is like your dearest, like your wife, your mom. When I mean permission, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really
Not
like
permission,
going to
but you
other
want
people.
somebody. Not permission, but you want somebody to vibe with you.
Yeah, like I'm not you. I don't work for you. Like what? No. But nah, they don't want beef. I mean, all you gotta do is say my name in the record. You know what I mean? That's what rap is at the end of the day, the competitive aspect of it. Say,
if somebody says your name in a record, if somebody comes at you, whether it's directly, indirectly, I mean, hip hop can be 5 million different ways. Like, somebody can come at you. Yeah. Does that make you feel like I said, I've known you since the beginning. You were like early on making music when I first met you, and back when you were in high school or just out of high school, and like I've known you forever. So seeing you come from nothing to something, seeing you come from, doing your appearance on Sway, doing, different appearances on international stuff, coming in and out from a personal sense, because you're in that bubble, right? Like you're growing, and sometimes you don't really know how other people from outside that bubble look at you.
Yeah.
You still, like, does that give you a sense of level of like, okay, I was here and now I'm up here because people are like talking about me?
Yeah.
Give you some kind of sense of accomplishment?
I mean, this is an industry. Like, yes, as an artist, you do want people to pay attention to your work, like to what you put out, because that's why you put it out, so they could feel it or not feel it. But in terms of like looking at things like, oh, well, I was here and then I'm there. And like, yo, unless that shit translate into money or some kind of coins, that's what make me be like, okay, now I'm doing something, because this is an industry for me. This is not a whatever the fuck people want to call it, a culture or what the fuck ever. This is an industry for me. This shit here, the culture doesn't move it anymore. It used to be that way, but it doesn't move it anymore. Money moves it. So I don't want to hear none of that culture shit. Okay? No one lives by the hip hop culture.
Yeah, get that back.
Because dead people will be writing their own lyrics. That no one lives by hip hop culture anymore. They live by hip hop industry. So
what percentage of artists do you think write their own lyrics, and what percentage do you think don't?
No, I think about good 80% write their own lyrics. I mean, I'm talking about rappers here. Let's talk about rappers, because like if our R&B people, I don't count those. Like, yeah, of course, you better have a ghostwriter. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm talking about MCs here. MCs, people that claim to spit. I would say the percentage of them that write their records is about good 80%. It's still high. I say good 80%. But then again, I don't know, Mike. I don't know. You never know. Somebody sounds so good rapping. Yeah, somebody sounds so good rapping somebody else shit.
I mean, Drake got so much heat a couple years ago when all his when his ghostwriter kind of became public. It's just, I feel like
top 5 rapper and have a ghostwriter.
I'd go a little bit lower than you. Like, I think only about 60% write their own shit, and even then, I think about half of those get assistance. Like, they may write it, but somebody else is coming back behind it, editing. And let's change this. Let's do this different. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anybody at the very top does it just straight up, unless they just release like some kind of freestyle somewhere. I feel like most of it is just, they're going to sit there and put it out and give it to the label, and the label's going to be like, all right, here, ghostwriter, go look at this and change it. Exactly. And maybe it's the original idea, and maybe it's just a bit of the original idea. we don't know until nobody's ever going to say it. It's not like they're going to publicize it.
I never like when people are, oh, the culture, like, fuck out of here. There's no culture. Like, this shit is industry. This is what it is now. Okay, you do whatever you have to do for your thing to sell. That's what it is. I mean,
that's one thing I've always liked about you is that you get that. You know, we had a talk a couple years ago. We had a talk about a couple years ago about how you can have as much culture as you want. You can have some of the best lyrics that you've ever heard. You can tell a great story, and you can tell your story. But if nobody hears it, if you don't make any money off of it, then what was really the point? Whereas if you have that one song that, you know, catches fire, that I don't want to call it a pop hit, but if you have that one radio track, that one something, like you released a couple tracks like that off the last one. Zenith was the one I really remember the most, because not only did you have the fun video for it, it was an incredibly catchy track. You know, it wasn't exactly appropriate, but the way you wrote it, the way the song flowed, it kind of had that like that pop mode to it, even though the lyrics might not have been family friendly. We'll leave the pearl necklaces alone, but that said, you get it. You've always gotten it, that in order to make that money, you got to get something to get people in the door to hear everything else you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, oh, come on. Like, everybody has that side. Like, there's no...
I don't think everybody does. I would disagree. I don't think everybody does.
What, the side of fun?
Yeah, I don't think everybody does. I think some people
That's true. Well, it used to be there. It probably got way too seriously contaminated by some other shit. But everybody has a fun side. Some people's fun side gets probably fucked up through trauma or, you know, life. But everybody is there. You ever seen kids play? Yeah.
Not everybody has a childhood.
Yeah, like me. I didn't have one.
You still have a childhood.
Dude, anyways. Let's not go there. But yeah, I mean, it's an industry, and people are gonna do what they want to do, especially with a lot of money on the line. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard not to get the bag and make J's on my feet. I don't know why Juicy J did that record.
I mean, if you're not getting the money though, the money makes everything else possible. If you're an artist that cares about your message,
that's always the chicken and the egg. Like, money makes everything possible, but then you find out how art sells. Art doesn't sell when you mass produce it. And what's happening now, that's what's, because they think they're getting money when the music is being mass produced and watered down. That's not money. This is why a Warhol costs what a Warhol costs, because there's not many Warhols. This is why you and I are craving for a Kendrick album. People will buy that for any amounts of money just to have it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. I'm sure you wouldn't. But there are people that would, like, that's how art is meant to be consumed. So look, if corporate people right now flood the market with artists with money, and people are gonna be like, oh yeah, well, yeah, we get the bag. Yeah, but you don't understand. That's not even the bag. That's not the bag. $1 million to an artist is not the fucking bag. Hip hop, that out of South Bronx, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. $1 million to an artist is not the fucking bag. What makes people think that's the bag? What do you think David Geffen is rich off of? Hip hop.
That also depends too. And it depends on whether depends if you're independent, if you're on a label. If you're on a label, that $1 million is just a fort. It's not even real money.
That's like a fucking light bill for a month for the label. I mean, that is not even, that's nothing. 10 mil is nothing. You know what hip hop does? It changed the world.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck you giving me $10 million? No, absolutely fucking not. That's not the bag. And so either way, like, the thing is, if artists have been like, well, we're going to get the bag, right? We're going to do this cheap type of music to get the bag, in which the money you're getting is not even the bag, right? Now, if you do like what a motherfucker like Jay Electronica would do, for example, right? He records one song in 10 years and he records another one. That's how art is really meant to be consumed.
I mean, in today's world, you really don't have to record more than one song at a time. You just got to market it.
That's it.
It's all about the stream.
That's all it's about. So I'm like,
which,
yo,
I mean, you guys are getting like less than a penny on the stream. Like it's ridiculously
that
low.
shit is another. I'm gonna go back to the old school.
I'm actually gonna ask you about. I'm gonna let you finish this thought, but I actually want to ask you about how that works as an artist. But go ahead.
Well, you just get what most artists don't even look into the back end of things. They
like
just
you put a track up on
TuneCore,
iTunes or Spotify. Whatever. How many streams would you have to get to even get $100?
It depends. Oh fuck, $100, dude! It's like 1,500 streams per. I believe $1. Yeah, like 1,500, somewhere around that number. 1,500 streams per. No, 1,500 streams per sale. So if you sell 99 cents or whatever the case may be, you do the math.
So if a track's 99 cents, you get what, like 7 cents on the dollar?
No, I get. Well, whatever streaming service. I think TuneCore takes 10%.
Okay.
For the service, I don't even do it. No, they don't take 10%. No, yeah, they do take 10%. For the distribution service. No, that's all part of that. So TuneCore is a service that it's like a distribution service. Like he hosts everything. So there you go. Based on all of those stores that they calculated, I will take 10%.
Okay, so you get most of the money because you don't have a label.
Yeah. I mean, especially since I'm
like these services that are unlimited. Like, I pay $15 a month. Everybody, my wife, daughter, everybody streams unlimited music off Apple. Mm-hmm. Like based on like if somebody streamed your song 10,000 times, would you even get $1 off that?
10,000 times?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Hell yeah.
You'll get paid off that.
Fuck yeah.
Because I know. Like 5 years ago, that wasn't the case. I know a lot of lawsuits have come down. A lot of lawsuits have come. Taylor Swift and some other people have sued to kind of increase the royalties out of that. But
well, yeah. Like, I mean, that's the thing. The big wigs that have the litigation money could do that, but like poor fucking kid out of Sheep Dick, Idaho, don't know what the fuck none of that shit is. He's just uploading shit, even if it's popping in the city.
Thanks a lot, Sheik. Now I just lost my whole crowd from Idaho. Thanks a lot. Go ahead. I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead.
Oh.
We all know you bang potatoes, not sheep. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm purely kidding. Please do not hit me up with those hate comments. I kind of deserve. Actually, don't do that.
Oh, dude, Idaho is pretty cool. Book me sometime. I'll perform in one of the fucking potato factories.
Change their world.
Yeah, man. First African artist to do that. I need that stat. But nah, man, like a lot of people don't give a fuck. Look, I mean, you know what's funny? A lot of people don't even care about money in the music industry. They want the fame. They want popularity. They don't want the money. Oh God, please. There's so many ways to get money without a camera being in front of you. Like, they don't want that. They want the clout, I'm popping, I'm famous, this one wants to do this girl wants. That's really what it is. But you gotta understand, okay, hip hop itself is a 15 to 25 age range demographic, correct? So most of the kids
I would disagree with that, but go ahead.
No. Well, the target audience, what the companies market to. Now, if you're above 25, clearly like us, people we're still into it. But what the companies target is 15 to 25.
Okay.
But of course, there are outliers outside of that.
Like, well, I think the people spending the money are the 25 to 35 to 45.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I don't think those kids are spending the money. They may be listening to it, but I don't think they're spending money.
Well, listening to it is spending the money now.
True, but that's because their parents are paying for it. The services.
Well, however it is their attention. That attention is going to convert to dollars. Yeah, that's what streams are. Because when Google and these ad companies see, they're like, oh shit, these kids are spending a whole lot of time paying attention to this. I got this thing I need to sell. I need to put this ad there. Now, how the artists get paid is just the ad revenue. That's where everything is going to now. But that's bullshit, because if it goes to the ad revenue, or rather, if that's how we're gonna get paid, then who dictates what a sale is? How the fuck do you get to say my shit is only worth 99 cents? Yeah. Who gets to say that? I should get to put the price on my
Don't you though?
Product.
I mean, like I said, I don't think many people are buying tracks. I don't think they're buying albums anymore. I think they're all streaming it. They're adding it to their library. They're paying for the service now. But like back in the day when a song was 99 cents or a song was $1.29, the artist didn't set that, or the label didn't set that. Who set that?
No,
Apple
the platforms do. You don't set that.
Oh, okay.
The artist doesn't set that. Like, if you're gonna use Apple, that's why they have that terms of agreement. That's what you agree to. Like, hey, dude, whatever's on this platform, we have a fixed price for this, whatever. If it's an MP3,
it's not just music; it's every industry, apps,
every kind of thing.
I mean, you see Epic, you see Epic fighting with them right now over the whole Fortnite thing. But yeah,
it's crazy. I'm like, this is a good time in business for people that are thinkers and are participants in hip hop culture. It's a brilliant time, because now
I don't remember who said it, but somebody said if this whole time you've been sitting at home through COVID, you didn't come up with a new skill or a new business or new something.
Oh yeah, it was a rapper that said that shit.
Yeah, you're just wasting like your life.
T Grizzly or some shit. This shit is beautiful, because right now this is like how like you playing Pac-Man and shit gets all crazy and then you reset it to start over. This is what's going on.
You spent too much time on that arcade over on Pickett Street, but go ahead.
I don't even own an Xbox. But I know. I gotta get a life. But you gotta.
I think you're doing all right. But go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like after this year, there's gonna be new. Especially music. The way our music is consumed is gonna be the same. But I'm talking about what's behind that, right? Does the artist actually get to be part of those boards to change some of these rules that says I can only sell my shit for $9.99? You know what I'm gonna do is, with this Homecoming album, I'm gonna say it on here. What I'm gonna do is you remember when Nipsey Hussle said his album for like $100 or his mixtape for like $100 for one? No, and Jay-Z bought like 100 copies or some shit.
Because he put it at $100?
Yeah, $100 for one mixtape. And Jay-Z's.
The only time I saw anything crazy like that was when Wu-Tang sold that one album for like
it was around millions. That time. It was around that era. So what I'm gonna do is I'm like, fuck it, let's play the game. It's a free market. Who the fuck said my shit is not worth $10 for a song? Who the fuck says that? And what's the worst that could happen?
I mean, the worst can happen is that nobody buys it, but at the same time,
you still hear it and get. I find different ways to get ad revenue from that. That's not the problem. But I'm talking about just $10 as an example. Maybe a little extreme example for one song. Come on. But I'm talking about just the idea of like, who the fuck says you can't set? It's my product. I know how good it is. Okay, I'll put $4 on a record, $3 on a record. No, it's up to you, the consumer, to be like, is it worth $3? I don't know. That's it.
Now what's in it? Now, if that's something you're going to do, where would you put it on? Like, who would distribute that?
So what, just get a website. Because
the whole distribution game now is all through the streaming.
Just get a website, put a price tag on it. Man, there's so many ways to sell music. People are just not thinking. Dude, there's all kinds of services. When you pay for something, a certain amount or whatever, they send it to the customer, right? Yeah. Okay, easy. I have a WhatsApp, whatever. As soon as you pay through the website, whatever, it'll automatically download on your WhatsApp.
I would go a step further from somebody who does it through podcasting. Is sometimes, and it doesn't even take much money. A couple bucks a day will send through Google Ads or through Facebook ads or whatever. Will put your product in front of millions of people that never even knew you existed. So there's many ways to advertise without breaking the bank.
Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at it like, well, that's the same thing.
And I wish I knew that 3 years ago. Yeah. When I first started this podcast, I was pretty much just doing it. I mean, I got some traction. I'm good at social media. I'm good at tech stuff. I'm a geek. I'm good at all that. And I figured all of that out myself. And, you know, obviously I've been doing websites since before 2007, but Pure Style, that most people know me from, 2007. Back when you and I first connected, I was, you know, obviously doing Pure Style and stuff like that. And you came up and told me you were a rapper, and I was just like, I got stuff to do. I'll be back. And I was just started laughing. It was you and God, I wish I knew what happened to it. You remember that dude Hal? He was like a little older. And Hal was always like talking about how he was a rapper.
Who, the black guy?
Yeah.
The alcoholic?
Yeah. But he was like in his 40s or like late 30s at the time.
He said he used to be a comedian, did he? Was it a rapper or a comedian?
Oh man, he used to always run around telling me how much he was a rapper, and he wanted me to put him on Pure Style.
That motherfucker is insane.
Crazy. He got locked up.
I never knew he was so, he had
too.
a dark past. Oh my God.
I mean, he kept getting locked up. Like he disappeared from the restaurant we were working at. He disappeared and come back like 3 months later, and our boss would always hire him back because he felt bad. But crazy.
Wow.
What I was saying is like, you know,
damn, you just got me thinking now.
But the model that we have nowadays, like it doesn't take much to get your message out, to get your word out. Like you're saying, if you want to put that album out for $4, $5, $10, $1,000, you can literally spend $2 a day for a week, spend $14 total, and that you put that in front of 1,000 people. Those 1,000 people, then if they're feeling it, then they'll share it with 1,000 people.
They're going to respond. They're going to click.
And it doesn't cost you anything, really.
You know, man, you can sit. Look.
Now, engagement's a different story. But putting it in front of people, that doesn't cost much.
Yeah, but when you put it in front of people consistently through a period of time, that's where your engagement is going to come from. Because the people they're so used to seeing you that they feel free to interact.
Yeah, if you put quality in front of people, it'll sell itself.
Yeah, I looked at motherfucker. So YouTube, they're rigging the game. They get to now. It's so fucked up, right? They rig on who gets to see who first. That's not even fair.
100%. And then also, don't get me started on YouTube. Like, it's my platform. It's what I'm working on now. Like, this is where my podcast kind of live with the DCXIV network. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, by the way. But the fact that they keep moving the bar, right? Like it used to be like anybody started a channel can monetize it right off the bat. If you got views, you got views, but you at least had the opportunity to make those pennies on the dollar. Yeah. Now you got to have, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watch viewed for any brand new channel. And unless you're like one of those channels that have already established themselves, quote unquote influencer, YouTube star, whatever the case is, musician, actor, somebody who has some obviously influence from outside of the internet. If you're somebody brand new coming up from nowhere, and I deleted almost everything that had to do with certified, Pure Style, DCXIV. I started from scratch back when I started doing this again this year. Yeah, these products have existed for years, so it's a little easier for me than maybe somebody next door to kind of get started again. But for me right now, we're brand new. These podcasts have just been going on for a month. Getting subscribers is hard. Getting views is easy. Getting likes is easy. Getting engagement, getting subscribers, getting people that want to keep coming back when they don't really know your product, they're not invested into you the way they may have been through over a period of years, that's hard. And for YouTube to move that bar so far high, and they're only going to move it further, it's not coming down. If they might even jack it up again. To move it that far, it's making it really impossible for people that are just starting to get those views, to get that spotlight, at least via their service. You can pay for it through advertising. You can get an influencer or somebody to talk about you. But otherwise, it's hard work.
I thought it was a fair playing field. That's what broke my heart.
It hasn't been fair in years.
Yeah, like y'all are purposefully hiding certain accounts and putting certain accounts more visible, in which it's not supposed to be that way. I thought if whatever account works hard enough gets the most views, that's fair. Well, whatever promotes themselves better enough. But it seems like they are the ones who are selecting. And it's like, well, then it's rigged from the inside. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if you're a popular channel, then yeah, you don't have to pay a penny. You're going to get promoted. You're going to get subscribed, because at the end of the day, their algorithm is still based on views. It's still based on subscribers. It's still based on interaction and engagement. Now, if you're talking about a fair playing field from the beginning, the ground, then that doesn't exist anymore. That's a pay to play system.
So this is what I did. So when we're talking about like Facebook and the ads, I'm like, all right, well, since it's gonna cost more anyway to run ads on fucking YouTube.
It's about the same. It's actually almost exactly the same.
Well, and
I mean, I do it every week.
No, YouTube is more. Dude, YouTube is more. It's more. It's more expensive to promote your shit via YouTube than on the Instagram, or rather the Facebook.
Are you talking about like price per reach? Like if you pay this much, how much more reach you get?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in that case, Facebook is just a bigger platform. So in that case,
so I'm like, well,
I get what you're saying.
Go ahead. Especially doing international music.
Yeah, I follow you. I want to get. I mean, both of them give you the opportunity to target it, but yeah.
Exactly, like YouTube. I'm not paying all that. Like, what? That's like $1,000 for 500 views. Like, no, what is this? I'm not paying you. And when they tell you that it's not, they're gonna do their best.
I'll let you know.
Facebook.
I'll let you know, and I'll let the people at home know a little secret about that, because as somebody who's been doing it now week in and week out, a little bit here, a little bit there, it doesn't matter if you spend. I mean, it matters, but not to the extent you think. If you spend $1 a day, $2 a day, $3 a day for like a 5-day span, right? There's not much difference than if you're spending $5 or $6 or $7 a day for that same span, the amount of views you get. So what I learned, and anybody can feel free to try this out, and please leave a comment. Let me know how it works for you. But what I've learned, because we're all growing together with this thing, what I've learned is that if you go through and start that advertising campaign, if you start it at like $10 a day, right? And after a couple days, you drop it down to like $1 or $2 a day, you're going to get the same interaction throughout that period, because YouTube's already put it up in their algorithm because you paid for it to begin with at a certain level. And when you drop down, your campaign doesn't. So if you start high, even if it's just for a day, and move it down, you will still get the same amount of views. And most of the views you get are in the first 24 hours anyway. Once that campaign is approved, most of those views are in the first 24 hours. So anything you get after that, your video is considered old anyway, right? So music's a little different. It's probably like a week or 2 weeks. Yeah. And people keep coming back for music, obviously. But the difference is, when you start that campaign, start it off high and then move it down way low, you're still going to get the same amount of initial reaction that you wanted to begin with. And it's not going to cost you everything that, like, thousands of dollars.
I just felt it's like it's been going so better with fucking Facebook, because bro, you have every single tool right there, and you're literally my dream was to literally really be in the how do you call it? Literally in the living room of the customer. Like, I'm right there. Like you know what I'm saying? Because you're so right in front of them.
I'm actually
Facebook.
Almost the opposite of you too, because I'm actually about to pull out of Facebook.
Oh yeah,
they're tools. They're tools to press the shit out of me. Like, you try to upload a video, half the time it works, half the time it doesn't work. Their page managers, their business tools, their infrastructure for the business side of things is so slow. And keep in mind, I have a top tier internet connection, top tier everything.
Yeah,
their stuff is so night and day slow compared to Google and YouTube and any other kind of Google ads and everything, that in order to put that service to work for me, half the time ends up in an error page, ends up in something just like oh, this couldn't be processed, try again. Especially since my videos are longer, obviously, than a music video.
Yeah.
It's just a nightmare for me. And I've had nothing but problems with Facebook.
Shit. Man, that shit's been working like a fucking charm. Like it's like easy to promote. Like, oh my God. Like I've never like everybody's like, well, how come you don't focus more on YouTube? You know the views. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about YouTube views if you're getting 20 million, like 1,000% more here, and for like $20. Like, and not only that, they actually know that like you could gather all the people that watch your shit and put them in one group.
Are you monetizing on Facebook?
Huh?
Not Facebook. Yet. Are you monetizing on Facebook?
No, not yet. I'm gathering the customers first. That's why I held back from putting out videos. I'm gonna gather all of that.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
While we're on this subject, and I'm thinking about Sierra Leone, thinking about different places, you know, like how you said, it has such a global reach.
Yeah.
Is Facebook more popular in a place like Sierra Leone than YouTube, or is it about the same?
Facebook, hands down. Because the thing out there is they deal with a lot of megabytes, right? You buy the to have access to the internet, you gotta go purchase
data
megabytes, and the companies are raping. So it's like YouTube is gonna kill your shit automatically. Facebook takes less data. YouTube, to watch a whole video, it's like, God damn, I just like, you know what I'm saying? You gonna take pretty much all your data.
Facebook's a little more
optimized. Exactly. So it's like, oh my God, I'm like, the company's already doing the work for me. Like, they're making it easier for me to put this product in front of these people's faces.
Are there any other big social networks over there?
I think Facebook is the biggest, man. I mean,
I know China messes with
people get on everything. People get on every social media, but you want to talk about the most popular one is Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
Because I'm like, yo, what? I know the customer. I know their name. I know their interests. I know what they liked. What? This is stuff companies pay for.
And they stalk you too. On my other broadcast we were talking about a fight. Ended up actually, funny enough, not happening, but we were talking about a fight that was supposed to happen last week. And we were talking about one of the fighters, a guy named Willis. I've never had an interaction with him. And I have friends on my Facebook that are fighters, obviously from Art of MMA. And we have no mutual friends, but we talked about him. And my phone was sitting right in front of me, right? And funny enough, as soon as I go on Facebook right after the show, suggested friends, that guy was right there. And I'm pretty sure this is a guy who's a championship level fighter. His Facebook isn't exactly readily searchable. And here he was right in my face. So trust me, I believe you. Facebook knows, and they know who and what and where, and they're way more intense than Google ever was.
Beautiful thing. That shit is beast, because
like Google's getting ready to get broken up, and Facebook is going to keep on trucking.
Hell yeah, everybody. This is the. I'm telling people. I mean, like now you see entertainers now have switched. Yeah, entertainers now have switched a lot of their streaming to Facebook.
Is that because of the live features?
Live. I mean, that's. Not necessarily.
Well, let me ask you this: Are you including Facebook and Instagram together?
I'm not sure. But
because more and more Facebook is blending with Instagram. Obviously, they own both platforms, but
yeah. But I'm saying they're re-uploading videos and re-monetizing, because Facebook is the world.
So you're saying India, I should not delete all my Facebook pages?
Yeah, it's like, bro, that's like everybody around the world is on Facebook. Instagram as well, but I feel like there's a demographic with Instagram, right? It's the young. TikTok is the young. But Facebook is everybody. So whatever product you have, whether music, weave, or soaps.
I mean, I think TikTok's amazing for artists.
Oh yeah, it is.
Especially if you get a track that people repeat. Like if you get a track that you put on there and somebody's like playing the shit out of it.
Especially those dancey shits.
Like the way Jason Derulo did that shit. Like the amount of people that used his song or Little Baby, like the way they use those songs. Not only is it giving them money in their pocket, because obviously the royalties are using those songs, But the amount of like notoriety and the amount of eyeballs and the amount of ears like that now are looking for them, like it's crazy the way TikTok is blowing some of those artists up.
So this is what I think happened.
And including the artist named Just Low that I barely knew of because of the NBA 2K soundtrack, but now I know of like a household name, like people like that. Like it's crazy.
What happened was I think the television era burst. It was like it's done, right? I think all those components now are in the hands of common people. Right? Because before, to be on TV is like a secret society, bro. Like you gotta know the guy, Hollywood shit. But now you could have a station. Whoever has a phone could have a TV station. So now all that money that used to just go to just the TV Hollywood thing, it's coming to everybody's hands who have the content. Because people's attention now is not on the TV anymore. It's on their phones and
yes and no
laptops and whatnot. But and that's the only explanation, right? Because
it's true, but you can't have your own platform.
You can't?
No, you can have a network, you can have a broadcast, you can have the Renaissance Republic channel, right? You can have that channel on YouTube, you can have that channel on Facebook. But the amount of money it costs to do your own platform, like people don't realize Netflix is funneling millions of dollars, maybe even billions of dollars to Comcast in order to be on their platform at full speed, right? Because these ISPs, they can limit everything. So when you sit there and like YouTube, Facebook, Netflix, some of these big boys, right? They're paying these ISPs, these internet service providers, to allow them to have that bandwidth. Somebody like you and me, we can go on one of these major platforms like a YouTube or like a Facebook, but we can't financially, realistically, financially, we can't. Like I can't go on DCXIV.com and start streaming 24/7. Like I can't like host the files and stream them off my domain 24/7 because the cost of that would be so astronomical that I'd be out of business within less than a day.
But to program, like continuous programming?
Well, yeah, it's just the broadcasting, the gigabytes, the data.
People are doing that. People are doing that.
But they're doing it on somebody else's platform.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's what I'm kind of saying. Like,
done,
like you can stream 24 hours a day from your phone to YouTube to
Facebook.
Think
about this. But think about this, right? So this comparing to back in the day where you have to go to Hollywood and meet fucking Harvey Weinstein to be on television or whatever the case may be. That's harder. That's way harder.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's just to be casted. That's not to own.
That's just getting your foot in the door.
And you talking about owning, they're going to be like, get the fuck out of here. Who are you? But I'm talking about now, you literally could start owning.
Mm-hmm.
If your shit get popular enough, YouTube gonna be like, all right, well, let's be partners.
Yeah, we talked about this last time with Chance the Rapper and everything, and
it's like
you being your own master of your own destiny.
Yeah, like it's now in your hands because people are not paying attention to that TV screen. I don't give a fuck what people are talking about. They're not paying attention to that shit. They want their phones, their personal phone. They can flip it this way. You can see or watch a whole movie, a whole show, a whole season.
My wife and daughter don't put their phone down.
Exactly. So the creators are like, well, if they're not watching that industry, that means that industry is going to fucking crash, which we're seeing. I mean, TV is the joke. It's a fucking
They
joke.
sit around dinner table with their family, and the TV might be on in the background. But
nobody waits that time for shows to come on anymore.
You're part of an African family. My wife and them are all Peruvian. It's probably not much different. Like these large family gatherings, right? TV might be on in the background. But if you look around the table, every single person is staring at their phone. They say they're spending time together, but they're all looking at their phone, and they just happen to be sitting next to each other. And it's exactly what you're talking about.
So it's like for the creators and the people that sell, it's like, what the fuck Hollywood? I can sit here, right here in this room. This is I can make a whole fucking TV program here. As long as I have content, just keep putting that shit up. And once it gets big enough, YouTube will be like, hey, you're getting a lot of traction on our platform. So how about we partner up the right way? As opposed to you just, creating a channel. Let's just do this the right way. You get some money onto you. And then eventually, if it gets bigger, the bigger you get, the bigger partner you become. Eventually, you probably own that bitch. That's how Michael Jackson.
There's a lot of them making a lot of money. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's how Michael Jackson damn near owned the whole music industry. Fucking bought the Beatles catalog. He bought so much shit. He bought the company that bought half of the fucking music industry. So, I mean, that's the saying. Yeah, you're going to start up as an artist. Yeah, you're going to be on somebody else's platform. But the difference is now you actually got a seat at the table. But to see that to make your seat become higher, it depends on your effort. But you do have a seat at the table. Whether it's in the old Hollywood sense, no, you don't have a seat here. We give you what we think you deserve, and then we make you cast you in roles we think you deserve. If you don't like it, we're gonna blackball you. But now it's like, all right, shit. If it's all based on my hard work and content, but y'all say y'all got me right. I'm still in it. If my shit get popular, y'all gonna. That's what YouTube is saying. Yo, you can have a seat here. You can upload this shit. Just work to get 1,000 subscribers. But once you start getting monetizing, and then your shit it's based on your content. It's not based on us. It's based on your content. Once you start getting monetized, you get bigger, boom. But my qualm with YouTube is the fact that, then you guys are now rigging the game because you're making these less visible and you're making those more.
Well, let me ask you if this changes things for Facebook and YouTube. They both offer you the ability to sell things now, right? Like under YouTube, you can put like 3 or 4 items for sale. Facebook, you have your shop on your page and stuff like that. You were talking about earlier about Homecoming and possibly selling it for a certain price or a higher price. Does that kind of empower you even more? Because now you can literally sell it directly through the platform, no matter which one it is?
Of course. Like, I mean, there's so many ways, dude. Like, I could create a folder, right? Like, you know how you have your Google Drive. Yeah. Create a folder. All right. The album is in that folder. Y'all are the customer base. And good thing about Facebook is their information is on there. The emails, everything. You could literally fucking send a message to a group of thousands. Right? Okay.
And now that they're blending platforms with Instagram, you can reach even more.
Exactly. My album is in that folder right there. Brand new, hot as fire. Everything is in that folder. The videos, everything, right? Fucking art, everything is in that folder. To access that folder, there's this password you have to do, like how we do it in Zoom.
Yeah.
Now just buy the password.
I'll spend $10. I'm not spending $1,000.
Wait, but you're gonna spend $10 now because
like I don't want anything for free. Like you and I are boys. You come out with an album, I want to buy it because I want to support you. Like I don't want it for free. But there's also a point, right? There's also a point. So I think as a businessman, you also have to find that happy point, that price point.
But the price point is not even a point because you could change that up however you want to. That just depends on how high.
The first impressions make a lot.
That's true. But what I'm saying is the way to sell the album, not the price of which you're going to sell it at, the way to sell it. Instead of you worried about people's platforms and you getting people dictating what you should sell your shit for. I'm just putting this out there. Dude, there's many ways to deliver files. Let's not forget about music. Files to other people via buying or not buying. You know what I'm saying? Like you could purchase a link or whatever the case may be. There's many services for that. I'm saying this is a problem with the world sometimes. People know there's other ways to do things, but because everybody's doing this, everybody's gonna.
They're lazy. They take the easiest.
That's all that is. You know for a fact iTunes ain't the only fucking place.
It's like somebody asked you. It's like somebody asked you a question when they could have Googled the answer themselves.
Right. I'm like, yo, but you could take that same system YouTube is doing, create that in a way where but you're not going to create it in one platform because the technology you may not want to put up that kind of money for.
No, that's what I was going back to, like bandwidth and everything, but yeah.
Right. You could just go back. You could just go to the fact that, like, hey, wait a minute. I could put all this in a folder. I can have this folder secured and locked security, and it's in a system. Whereas you could purchase this link for whatever the fuck, and that you have access to the folder. There's many services that provide that. Like, that's a way to sell an album. And when you purchase that, everything is in there. The whole presentation is in there. The music videos and the files. That's yours. Like, that's yours. It's very personal.
Yeah,
It's the audios are there.
It kind of gives you that feeling of going to the record store and buying an album, taking it home.
They're buying the whole thing and you holding it in your arms and you walking. I'm gonna put fucking pictures in there, whatever you need, posters, all of that shit is in there. And it's
I'll take it a step further. You could also go and have somebody print that album on a disc on vinyl, which I mean is making a huge comeback.
You do whatever you want with the folder.
What I'm saying, you as the artist, you know, as vinyl's making a huge comeback, and you could upload it. Yeah. You can send those you can send those albums, those physical albums, to Amazon warehouse, and then have Amazon sell and ship them for you for free, and you're just getting pure profit from it, other than what obviously it costs you to make it. But
yeah, you fucking rig that shit all around. However, you control how you that's all iTunes did. They're like, wait a minute. I mean, people pay for these stuff if you deliver this to this, but all right, well, how about we create this fucking app system?
I still get a kick out of the fact that iTunes acts like they invented subscription music.
No, they didn't.
I mean, I've been on subscription music. I mean, go back to when Napster tried to go legit. Go back to Reel. Mm-hmm. Remember Reel? Like they were doing the subscription services.
Real Player.
Yahoo had one.
Yeah, they've been doing that shit for a minute. Like,
now iTunes did it better. Yeah. iTunes did it marketing better.
That's all they did. They just did it on the phones. Better.
When they put it on the phones, that was game changer right there. When they owned the platform and they took the whole music library, because they already had iTunes selling music. They took that, made Apple Music and put it on a platform on a phone. And then even made that, like, I got Apple Music on my Android phone, like on my Galaxy. Like the fact that they made it also cross-platform,
of course,
was genius. Like they didn't make it as good as, like, obviously it works better on an Apple device, but it still works, and that's the big thing.
But look at the big thing about this right now, right? This is why I made Homecoming. This is why Africa in itself, it's open for this to create these things. Apple or Spotify, they're not going to be able to handle the African population traffic. They're going to attempt because it's good marketing base or whatnot, but it ain't going to compete with money for them. No. Whatever you're going to advertise to Africa, they're not going to buy. So all that ad revenue that you get here and all that shit, this is why it hasn't sped up like that. You know, they have it in South Africa, okay? And I think Kenya, they have Apple Music and Spotify and shit like that there because they're fairly developed places on the internet infrastructure wise. But I'm talking about, like, I could still go sell CDs for $20 on album, like 96.
Yeah.
Do you see the, like, this is what Irv Gotti had a sit down with David Geffen, right? And he was, not David Geffen, William Morris. This motherfucker owns the whole music industry. He owns the company that owns Interscope and all these fucking companies. Okay, he's like, yo, and then Morris was like, yeah, you remember? He said, you want to know how much money is in the music industry? Irv Gotti goes, well, I'm Irv Gotti, so I know. He's like, no, you have no fucking clue. He said, think about this. When Elvis started doing his thing or whatnot, it was on vinyl, right? Vinyl or whatnot.
You're right. You're right the first time, David Geffen.
Oh, it was David Geffen?
Yeah,
he said some shit like that. And then he was like, I could sell the same album on 10 different... It's the same album, like Thriller. I could sell it on vinyl.
Well, Jimmy Iovine and but
cassette, all that other shit. Well, which was like... I was listening to this. I was going like, wait a minute. This is very smart. You're selling the same music, just to different generations. I mean, the music has to be phenomenal, of course, but
quality.
But nonetheless, you're selling the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Like we said earlier about quality, people will keep eating it up.
People buy it. Yeah. So I'm like, well, in that case, well, shit. We have a whole Africa that's undiscovered in terms of the monetization of music. Because all the African artists, the big ones now that are worldwide recognized, like Davido, Wizkid, and them, they're fighting to come into this market. But this market is fucking crowded.
Yeah.
It's fucking crowded. I mean,
is that a case
the money that
they think is that a case where they think the money is they'd rather be a little fish in a big pond, they make more money than being a big fish in a little pond?
Well, the pond ain't little.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's little, but as far as global marketing, like, obviously
the thing American, is what a lot of people don't understand is, oh well, here, I mean, the thing is the appeal to the world with Western civilization.
China's got more people than anybody in the world. They still listen to American stuff.
Yeah, well, that their government structure doesn't allow.
I mean, as much as they can
for free market. You can't just buy what the fuck you want. You can't do that there. So of course, yeah, they're gonna try to listen and hear and shit like that. But if China was like, hey, listen, it's a free market in here, you can make whatever the fuck music you want. I don't give a fuck. You think they would be doing that? No. Look, they got 2 billion fucking people to sell to.
I mean, not all of Africa because the government limits that. Though.
Huh?
Not all of Africa is free market either. There's definitely still some dictatorships and stuff going on.
No, I'm talking about West Side. I'm talking about West Side.
Western and the dictatorships
politically. No.
Modernized.
Politically, West Africa has never been on some totalitarian, like, you can't make music. That's some China blocking media shit. We don't necessarily do that.
I mean, music's been the backbone of so many cultures in Africa. I mean,
in Africa, that's something that will never be fucked with in Africa. So that's not, and no matter what country you go, I don't care what, like, the only countries that's probably going to do that is like the Muslim countries, meaning where the Muslim law is the law of the land. And in our faith, music is a no-no. You know, much like in Christianity as well, music is a no-no. So like in a lot of East African parts, especially the outskirts of cities, no, they're not. They're very conservative, and no one is. But they're not going to stop you from selling what you want to sell. They're just not going to indulge.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? So, like, but you got to talk about. But we're only talking about secular music, and a lot of those parts they have what they call it's like what you call gospel music here, where they have religious music and a lot of those parts and cultural. So those could be for sale as well. Like, it ain't gotta just be the hip hop dirty shit. It could be the fucking clean whatever you want to sell. As long as it's audio, you have a place to go put it on and people could buy it.
So what's the goal for Sheik Kargbo in the end of 2020, going into 2021? As far as like,
I'm trying to be the motherfucking David Geffen of Africa, bro. Or we're gonna start in Sierra Leone first, because there's no. All we gotta do is create a system, and people are right now. We have, you heard of Big Sister and all that. You got Big Brother. We got Big Sister Sierra Leone. I mean, they did it the right way too, with the cameras and the fucking spot. It should look like real world Africa. So I'm like, okay. Well,
I do have a question about Sierra Leone, but we're gonna get to that afterwards because I don't want to piss you off just yet. But
it's all right.
Well, I remember last time. You dropped Idris Elba's name last time and not in a positive way. And I was like, I'm curious to what you think about this whole resort thing he's building there. But
it's business, dude.
I mean, he's not even building it like inland. He's building it on like one of the islands.
Yeah, it's one of the. It's called I think it's one of the. He traced his thing. His tribe.
He partnered up with the government, and they're building like.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, that's just some big business shit. Yeah, like, come on, that's cool. It is what it is. I mean,
it's good for tourism, but it's not really giving anything back other than money to the people.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, anything helps, bro. Like, if you could build that and hire people, that's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's
I think
cool.
Last
but
time
you already know
how
those
about him building some
are.
schools or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's his money. Yeah, all I could do is get my own money and try to do what I want to do with my own. So if another man decides to do that with his, that's his choice. I didn't make it for him. But I mean, whatever he does, I mean, as long as it brings a good look, it is what it is.
Now, you've been making music for Sierra Leone now for a few years. It wasn't just this new thing. Like you kind of focused on it. I mean, you kind of you focused on it now, but you were kind of like when we talked. When we talked a few years ago, you were talking about doing this then. And
yeah, definitely.
What is the big picture? What is the big picture about, like, giving back to Sierra Leone, building Sierra Leone up? It's not just always been about you. It's been about you giving back to it. What is the big picture? Like, what do you hope to accomplish with, like, the Sierra Leone hip hop scene, music in general, the country? Like, what's your big picture on this?
Being part of the money. Not just the money, but being part of it, because, I mean, realistically, if you come from a place that don't have much, right? Now I'm saying we don't have anything. We have a lot. But in terms of like all of this shit, for things to really change, you need money. Mm-hmm. But beyond money, you need to understand what the money is for. See, a lot of people, they focus on just to get money. Yeah, I'm getting money. But like, and then you got money. Okay, all right, what now? When you don't have a plan for money, you're gonna waste it. You're gonna be broke the next week when you don't have a productive plan for money. Getting money is not just to get money and hold it. Rich people can't even hold money because it's gonna reduce. You have to find a way to hide it, put it in this thing. That you can't hold money. That's an illusion. If you think you can hold money, you're out of your fucking mind. You can't not hold money. Where you gonna hold it? The banks charge you to hold it for you. So the longer you keep it there, the longer they're gonna keep scheming off the top until you find out, like, what the fuck? Or you could put it in one of those things that it doubles the interest for you or whatnot. But that's whole thing. So it's like, bro, in Sierra Leone, the thing is, we have the population. We have 7 million people. 7 million, the whole country. So 7 million.
That's so I'm like, amount.
It's not a little amount, but it ain't big. Fucking Northern Virginia. That's Northern Virginia.
DMV area, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's 11. There's 11. There's 11 in New York, so I get your point.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, we could just fucking create a system. Like, Sierra Leone is it's not a hard country to destroy. Neither is it a hard country to build. You get 7 million. You could fuck it up and build it back up in 2 weeks. Or if it's fucked up, you could build it back up in 2 weeks. Or you could destroy it in 2 weeks as well. That's what happens with populations that are small, especially within a country. Like, yo, when shit go bad, it goes really bad. Like,
now you say 7 million. You say 7 million. Is that mostly coastal, or are they kind of just spread evenly throughout the country?
No, in the whole population of the country, 7 million people.
But is there like one bit? Like, is there like a bigger, like Freetown? Like, is there like a bigger? Like, are they like kind of like all gathered up in like mostly one area, or are they just evenly spread out?
That's a good question. So the way out Sierra Leone is,
like, even in America, most of our population are the major cities, and then everybody else is kind of spread.
Yeah, definitely. It's not, it's that you have the funny thing is it is spread out because most of the major cities are spread out, and those are tribal cities. Meaning, like, for example, I'm Timney, right? My tribe, so we're in the north.
Okay.
So clearly, you have a major Timney city in the north. McKinney or whatever, right? And then for the Mendes, they have their this whole infrastructure plan started from the ancient times with the tribes, right? That's how they drew their lines. Say, hey, this is our section, just like fucking 5 Points. It's New York, same thing. It's like, hey, Italians over there, that one's over there, that one's over there. So same thing in Sierra Leone. So think of like, you have in Brooklyn, you have what you have in Brooklyn for the Jews, right? Their major landmark. And then you have Little Italy, right? And then you have your Chinatown. So it's just like how Sierra Leone is with the tribes and the cities. So, but that's spread out in the world. And yes, but when the war shifted a lot of things. It shifted a lot of things around because then a lot of things got destroyed. In which most of the population in certain areas have to move to the major city for opportunity and economic benefit or whatnot. So they couldn't sustain a life in the outskirts anymore. So that, I'll give you another example, like when the Dust Bowl happened here back in the day, you have to fucking move out of that area to.
You did live out in Texas and Oklahoma for a while.
Yeah,
you're
I love
talking about the
American
Dust Bowl.
No, I love American history generally. I that shit is deep. But no, like, but
Annandale High School's finest right there.
Hey, you already know, man. Adams, baby. Adams, baby. No, man, but like, but that's how. But anyway, that's how Sierra Leone is. Like,
I almost got in trouble because I was about to say something bad, but
what, Annandale?
Yeah, I mean, I went to TC. Come on, bro.
It's funny. I was supposed to go to TC. Oh God!
You lived on the wrong side of the street. That's what happened.
Hey, I lived in Alexandria. My mom just said wanted to go to TC.
Districting shit.
Mm-hmm. I was definitely fucking districting. I'm not supposed to go to Annandale. I live like across from Landmark.
Literally around the corner, everybody's going to TC, and then like Orleans Village and like in Morningside and all you guys were getting sent over to Annandale.
Yeah. It's that line, that gas station. That was the line.
It's crazy. Yeah. Go ahead. Keep talking about it. See, this show has always gone off the tracks.
That's how it's supposed to be.
And we're gonna let you get out of here in a second, because it's running a little bit long, and I don't want to keep you. I know you got other stuff to do today. Sorry. And making some music and stuff like that. But I do want to give you a chance to kind of plug some stuff. You talked about Homecoming. When can we expect that?
I want to say at the end of the year, or end of the year. If not, probably beginning of the year. But definitely around that time, December.
So December, January.
Yeah, December, January. I wanted to, because I was debating whether I wanted to release in December, because there's not a lot of music coming out in December, which could be good.
Yeah, I'd read on some other posts that you were talking about.
It could be bad. Yeah, like it could be bad because people are not even worried about music in December. People are just trying to get their families close, and But January, the beginning of the top of the year, I really want to do it January, to be honest, because that's my birthday time, and
No, I get that. That's the only reason that people ask me all the time, why is your company called DCXIV? And I was like, look it up in Roman numerals. It's 6/14. That's my birthday.
Oh shit! All right,
I just dropped some knowledge on everybody. Creative. That's what DCXIV stands for, 6/14. And 6/14 is such a heavily taken business name. Like there's a major production company with it, and there's some other stuff. If you look up 6/14, there's a lot of stuff that uses it. Nobody was using DCXIV. What'd you say?
Is Cleveland 814 or 614?
I'm not sure. I have to look it up.
Because I had the Jersey, but I had the area code Jersey. I forgot what.
And selfishly, while I'm looking that up, when are we gonna get that American album, that banger?
Oh man, that shit is coming, bro. Like, I mean, it's done. I just gotta get done with this.
6/14 is like Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio, yeah. I had their Jersey when I was in high
Ohio
school.
State and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Or where I almost died on the damn highway, but it's another story.
Yeah, but in regards to Africa, man, that's like, especially Sierra Leone. I mean, think about, like, that's why Akon is trying to do the A-tunes, right? Like the African iTunes. Like, because he knows. He's like, yo, dude, this shit is open. Like,
he's had his hand in African businesses for a long time.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's African.
But yeah, no, he's been trying to monetize that for a long time. And
this is why, because he sees all the billionaires coming out of Africa from small ideas. Right? Like most of the world's richest Black people are Nigerian. I mean, the women that are like triple times Oprah's net worth, like literally, like off of cement.
It's not from all the scams?
No. From education and innovation and industries.
Sorry. Now we got Idaho hating us. We got Nigeria hating me. That's cool. I just lost about a billion people. That's cool.
Nah, but that's my plans anyway for this homecoming. That's why I did an African album. It's bigger than just the actual album. It's like the idea of like, oh, bro, we can have all of this shit to ourselves. And Africa is huge. It's like fucking huge.
And this is just pure ignorance on my part, so I'm asking from a learning point of view. What is like the level of English in countries like Ghana and Sierra Leone, even Nigeria?
Higher than here.
So it is like, so when you do, the reason I ask is because when you do these tracks, like we were talking about Poro, when you do these tracks that kind of like go English into more native tongues, back into English, back into native tongues, is that something they easily understand more because they have such a heavy English background?
Yeah, they understand the English. I mean,
like if I went over there tomorrow, I could just start talking to somebody.
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah. Creole is broken English.
Yeah.
Well, so they understand what you're saying. You may not understand the broken English. You're gonna pick up the English words in it, but you gotta also understand we were colonized by the British, not the Americans. So even the British English is different from American English, clearly. British English, in our broken English, we still have old English, basically, like down yonder. Like that's like an older British term that the South adopted as well, due to the British being here, of course.
Well, I mean, even in English, like you're saying, sometimes an American and British person can talk to each other and be saying the same words and not understand a damn thing.
Shoot, dude, a guy from North London can talk to a guy from South London and not understand each other because it's two different accents.
I mean, different accents. My wife, like I said, my wife's Hispanic. I could tell you firsthand, if you say one word, and depending if they're from Central America, Mexico, South America, I mean, don't even get me started on the Portuguese in Brazil and everything. But that one word could mean 3 or 4 different things depending where they're from. So, dialect means a lot. Slang and the context. I guess the context is the word I was looking for. Body language. When we were talking about in the beginning of this conversation about the music you had and how I was banging to it, even though I didn't really understand half the words you were saying. Like, the great thing about music and, you trying to monetize it over there is that it translates no matter, like if you have a banger, sometimes people will, like, for instance, look at Panda. How many people know the words to Panda?
I don't know the words.
No, they know Panda, 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 and then da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? I mean, I know there's a Fanta. I know he used a credit card in Atlanta. That's all I know. Or there was some broads in Atlanta, and he used a credit card. I mean, at one point I started trying to figure out what he was trying to say, but I was just like, Fetty Wap, you got me on this one. I don't know. But it was also, but it was a platinum hit. It was a platinum hit, right? Because it just vibed. And so, I think the great thing about you is because you do have, between Renaissance Republic, SK Music, Speakeasy, some of the other stuff you've done throughout the years, that even though you're doing something new now, you're still going to have some of those guys and girls rocking with you too. So it's even more of an audience for you to go over there and conquer is definitely not the right word, but to expand your horizons and going over there and
expand the brand, man.
Yeah, expand the brand.
But I mean,
I know from you, it's all love over there.
Yeah, of course, that's my home. That's
I mean, you're not trying to go over there causing beef. You're just trying to, get more fans, get more people.
If you're a rapper, you're always gonna have a war of words with other rappers. That's just what the game is. That's not. I don't run from that. That's how you sow your royal oats in the hip hop community. Well, not the community, but the sport. This is what we live and die by. This is one of the pillars of hip hop. It's the battle. So I welcome that. That's why I'm a MC. This is why I love Nas and Jay-Z. This is why you love Beanie and Jadakiss, because they go to war. So I welcome them.
Now I'm gonna end this show on this one note. I think you still owe me a thank you, because years ago, back to when you were an arrogant 18-year-old kid, you kept telling me, I'm a producer, I'm not a rapper. I don't like rapping. I'm a producer, and I only rap just to sell my songs and sell my beats. And I told you that you could flow. I told you just sounded perfect on when you were rapping, and that you should follow up and do it more. And here, coming out of your mouth just now, you called yourself an MC. Now, I just want to say,
there's a difference between a rapper and an MC.
You put me on the right path. That's all I want. It's like, thank you. You made me a global superstar because I started rapping.
There is a fucking difference between
even when you went to Sway, it was for the beats. It just happened that they needed you to hop on.
Yeah, that was funny because people thought I went there to rap. I'm like, I ain't fucking come here to rap. I came here to fucking.
People can listen to the first episode to hear that story, but
beats. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, but then they brought a producer, and so it was like, I'm sorry, you got bumped. I was like, well, I'm gonna be in the room, motherfucker. I'm a rap. I rap too.
Yeah, and then you kick that freestyle. And now everybody knows who you are.
I'm like, go put me in a fucking roast study. What you think this is just one talent? I love her. I'm like, fuck the beats. Put me on the mic.
Well, you definitely have way more talents. We're gonna be looking for Homecoming coming out end of this year, early next year.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully we don't have to wait 3 more years to get you back on Certified.
You never invited me.
Well, I mean, I also went on like a 2-year hiatus.
That's true. That's fair.
But now that we're in action, now that you're back in action, we're definitely going to get you back on talking about Homecoming when that comes out and some of the new music. We definitely always get sidetracked when we talk. It's great hearing from you, man. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your marriage. Just catching up.
Thank you, man.
You got my number now, and you always hit me up. But I'm definitely happy for you, bro. And,
appreciate it, man. Happy for you too. Have me on here more regularly, man. I'm like a co-host now, bro.
I'll get you on the co-host. You can come on. You can come on and help me interview anybody.
I'll co-host.
I mean, it's no different than my mixed martial arts show where we have fighters, helping me talk about this stuff. Sometimes you need a pro. You need a pro. You need somebody that knows the business inside and out.
Hook me up. Whenever you interview an artist, just let me know. I'll be on the second screen.
Hey, we'll make it happen.
Co-hosts are only supposed to say 2 words per 10 minutes or some shit, right?
So you're just gonna sit back there rocking the whole time I'm talking?
I'm just be doing this.
Until you got something to pop in and ask. All right, people. I'll stop boring you guys. Follow the Certified Pod at any of your social networks. This is DCXIV. Has all the links. Sheik, you want to send out any of your social media links? People get a hold of you.
Nah, I don't want y'all to find me.
How are you going to build a conglomerate empire? People can't find you.
But that's the trick.
That's going to be a needle in a haystack broke trick. You just spent an hour and a half. You just spent an hour and a half talking about getting the bag.
Guess what? Guess what people search for? Things that they can't find.
All right, people. I'm going to put his links in the show notes. I'm not going to let him disappear on you like that. He's not going to ghost on you. Keep the pressure on him. Get that Homecoming album out.
Homecoming album, man, is coming out hopefully December, January. You can catch me. My name is Sheik Kargbo, SHEIK_KARGBO. That's on Instagram. On YouTube is Ren, RENN_Republic. If you don't know how to spell that, I feel bad for you. Twitter is Sheik, SHEIKKARGBO. Nothing in between. Most likely, if you find one, you're gonna find the rest. Okay. I have a link tree thing, but I haven't really set it up. I'm lazy. I rap.
I mean, every network kind of stands on its own, so it doesn't really matter if you have a link tree or not. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up right there. This is the Certified Podcast. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. All right.
Peace. We're out.